There are many different religions and beliefs in the world, so why choose Jesus? It's the life-changing and life-giving power that I've seen transform my own life and the lives of those around me. Come with us as we journey into the hearts and minds of those who have been a testimony and borne witness to the power of the Almighty God, Yahweh, Yeshua, El Shaddai, Adonai. Meet with us as we meet with God while talking through the wisdom and understanding, the knowledge and might, the counsel and reverence He has given His sons and daughters. May you hear His voice through our conversations and know this is for you. God spoke something very specific to Christine for this episode. Keep listening to hear the wisdom that comes from her broken road to healing.
So I was having this kind of discouraging day, and I was just kind of reminding the Lord, nothing ever seems to go right in my life. Why can't we do this the easy way? Why am I having to work so hard? I'm in the process of moving again. And I've worked myself silly on a house for 2 years, and it's on the market currently. And I own this little house, a block away from here. And it's the next step for me is to just move in there. So I'm working towards that. But it's requiring something of me, and I'm a little weary. 2 houses, 2 yards to maintain, work on this one, work on that one, I'm a little tired. Today I was a little agitated with my whole situation. And the Lord reminded me that He had just talked to me a few days back. And He said to me early one morning, it's okay to cry if you need to. And I said, well, I don't like to cry. I really just don't. I mean, I can get choked up because of the presence of the Lord, but I don't just like to just cry because I did that for so long. I was in a state of depression during my first marriage, and in those 6 years after, it was almost constant depression. And I cried and cried and cried until my kids couldn't listen to it anymore. They didn't know what to do with me because all I did was cry. And so what that accomplished was when I went to my doctor for my yearly checkup, she was like, hey, let's do some base testing and stuff, and did a bone density test. And she said, I'll never forget this moment. She said, your bone density is off. It's terrible. And it was like she's telling me I have osteoporosis, and I'm like, what? And so she put me on a medication, and I took it faithfully. And when I went back to be rechecked, it wasn't any better. There like not been any improvement, and she was stumped. She just said, I don't get it. Well, I was watching television one day. I think it was Heidi Baker that came on, and she was prophesying, and she pointed right at the television that screen, like right at me, and she said, you do not have osteoporosis. And I said, what? Then I was really confused. And God took me to Proverbs 17:22 one day. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones.
Wow.
His word is so literal.
What was that verse?
Proverbs 17:22. And the one that I just read you is from the New King James Version. The Amplified is a happy heart is good medicine, and a joyful mind causes healing, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. God's word is true, and it's so full of truths that, we might skim over that verse and just say, oh, that sounds good. Like it's symbolic of, we don't want to go around all down in the mouth and with dried bones. No, I mean, it literally dried my bones.
Wow.
So now we combat that with laughter and joy. Who would have thought? My doctor's telling me, you have osteoporosis. God's saying, no, you don't. But it's showing on the scan. And he was like, no, you don't have that. So then but it took me a while to catch on. So then this morning, I walked by. God was just up to something, he was just putting all this together. And I didn't realize what was going on. but I walked by this little embroidery that I have, and it's that serenity prayer.
Girl.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that spoke to me right in that moment. There's just little things planted around in my house, and you walk by it 50 times a day and don't notice it, but that one time when you need to see it, God brings it alive. And so I was comforted a little bit by that. So then after that, something else happened that was the turn of events for the day. And I think that began, it was over the weekend. The grandkids were over. My daughter was over with her kids. And my little Charlotte, she said, oh, Nana, this spot right here is butter on your tablecloth. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. All right, well, thanks for telling me what it is, So today I thought, you can hardly see it. And I thought, oh, you know what? It's time to wash that tablecloth anyway. I'll just take it off. So I washed it. In fact, I guess that was maybe 2 days ago. I took it off and washed it. It was hanging on my little clothesline in the house. And so then today I ironed it. I started to put it back on, but this other tablecloth popped into my head that someone had given me. And I thought, man, that would be perfect for this time of year. I'll just switch this room up. I'll put out some fall decor, which is ridiculous because I'm supposed to be packing and getting ready to move. And instead, here I am out in the garage in the tote with all the fall decorations. And the whole time I'm bringing all this in the house, I'm thinking, idiot, why? Why are you doing this? You're just making work for yourself. But after I started getting all this out, I got to the bottom of the tote and I said, oh, I know what's in this bag. These are my gourds. These are like, they're a gourd that's not they're not real. They're made out of some, not ceramic, but some type of I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah.
But anyway, as long as I'm unwrapping them, and they were a gift from a good friend of mine, and I've had them a very long time, probably 20 years. And one of them was broken. And I was like, no. I was very upset. It was broken. And because they look so lifelike. Mm-hmm. Well, here's what the point where I'm going with this is. It had a hole that was broken through it, and I thought, well, how did that happen? Oh, it must have happened in the move. Okay. But I started looking for the pieces, and I couldn't find the pieces. It wasn't in the paper, and I said, oh Lord, like this is a huge deal, right? I mean, it's a gourd, it's a composite gourd, but it meant something to me. Mm-hmm. It was, and I said, I was going to throw it away, and I heard the Lord say, don't throw it away. It can be fixed. And I said, but where are the pieces? And I was shaking it. Well, the pieces were inside, but they had gotten stuck inside. Eventually, I rattled them loose, and the pieces came out. And I started gluing them together. And that is, I think, about the time where you texted me and said, can we do this podcast today?
Wow.
So what the Lord brought to my attention at that very moment was, this is just like you. What happens when you're broken? I put you back together. And I think this is what one of the main things that God wanted me to share was, life can tear you apart. It can leave you in pieces, but the Lord knows how to put us back together, and He's got the answers. So I already started gluing it back together. That to me was so beautiful in that moment because it just hit me. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, that's me, the gourd.
Yeah.
Broken again.
Yeah.
Like a big hole. But God said, don't throw it away. This is the part we need to hear. Don't throw that away. It can be fixed. No matter how broken we feel, how useless we feel, how abused we feel, He knows how to fix us. And if we will just submit ourselves to His wisdom and to His love and care, and be patient with ourselves and be patient with the Lord and how He does things. His ways are higher than our ways.
It's just so beautiful. And I just want to confirm for you, not that you need it, but confirm that you've heard the Lord on what to share specifically today. Because yesterday I got home and someone had placed a blanket on my porch chair, and it was the serenity prayer on this blanket.
That's why you laughed.
Yeah. And I didn't know who it was because they just left it. Our cameras didn't catch the clip of the person. And so I brought it inside, and later on my grandma texted me and was like, "Did you find something on your porch?" And I was like, wow. And like, my grandma's not spiritual or anything, but yesterday was a really rough day for me. And I read that prayer, and that's like a prayer attached to so many other things. And it's not really one that I have ever quoted myself or ever really considered would be meaningful to me. Right. And I read that, and I'm like, that's exactly what I need in this moment, this season of my life. So when you brought that up, I was like, oh my gosh, like God is just, that's his sense of humor though, because it's like, Renee, you're wallowing in all of this junk, and I was wallowing too. And then he brings that. I know better. Yeah. I just know, we're still human. We still have flesh. Yeah. And even the gourd, just as you said, that you found the pieces broken inside, I just saw this image of myself and my broken pieces falling inside of me. And but to get those pieces, to glue them back together, to put the gourd back together, you had to get the pieces out. And there was a shaking as well. I was shaking that gourd, and I wasn't hearing anything. And I was looking through the hole and I couldn't see it. But then that was about the time I thought, well, this is useless. I'll just throw it away, as sad as it is. Yeah. And I heard that quiet, still voice say, don't throw it away. Yeah. It can be fixed. Yeah. So he is the mender of all broken things. I read something this morning. It was just a little story. It was just kind of something I Googled, and it was a little story. And it just said that this little boy asked his mommy one day, "What does God do all day?" And she replied with, "Oh, he fixes broken things all day. He spends all day fixing broken things." Yeah, that he is the mender of all broken things. I think, God knows what each one of us needs to hear. It's like, maybe we have a little treasury bank inside of our heart, and we deposit those little things, or he deposits them in there, and somehow they're there, for that time when he needs to draw that out of us. Yeah. But the thing is he's so magnificent. He's so wonderful. He knows everything. That's the place that I have come to in my life. I've stopped trying to figure everything out. Yeah. He's already got it figured out. He's already been there. He's already seen it. He's the Alpha, the Omega. He's the beginning and the end, and he has seen everything in between. Nothing surprises him. Nothing confuses him. Let me share just briefly the night that my husband took his life. My second husband took his life. It was a very surreal evening, to say the least. And I was outside. The police were protecting me. They had me across the street. They had given me instructions. You stay here. You stay right here behind this house or behind this tree until we come and get you. And so the Lord said to me, get down on your knees and pray. And it was raining and muddy out. And I don't like to be icky and dirty. And I was like, really? Really, Lord? So I got as close as I could to the earth without sticking my knees in the mush. That's just me. And I prayed, God, be Lord over this. I mean, instantly I heard this very peaceful God reply, good prayer. Get up. And I was stunned by that. And I said to myself, seriously, that's it? No, I've prayed longer than this over what I'm going to eat for breakfast. But he is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. There is no shadow of turning in him. He was just as calm as could be, like it was any other day. Yeah, good prayer. Get up. So I expected that he was going to live through this, but he did not. So then the next contact I had with authorities, they came and found me and brought the coroner and said he didn't make it.
And I wasn't expecting that. And it was devastating. But I also heard the Lord say 3 other things that brought me peace. And the things that was exactly what I needed to hear. He said, he loved you. You'll see him again. And now you need to live again. Just like that. 3 things. And that was a little over 6 years ago. That was 6 years on Mother's Day.
Wow.
And so God already was encouraging me, you need to live again. He didn't say, okay, this is too big for you. You're not going to be able to recover from this. This is the one that's going to get you.
Yeah.
There was none of that. And I remember that close friends and family, my children, were so compassionate. My church, and I wasn't at the Roads at the time, but the church that I was attending, they were so compassionate. But God knew, he knew that I would recover.
Yeah.
And even in this hour of my life, where I feel like, another new start, another fresh start, and I'm experiencing the Lord saying, whatever the enemy has stolen from you, you shall recover all. And so I think, one thing is important to do is journal. When you sense the Lord is saying something, this might be for somebody listening, to journal what the Lord is saying to you to help bring you through a difficult time. I brought something else with me which I think I'm going to share really quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you let me know when.
Yeah, we're good.
Are we still good?
Yeah. Well, this may be 2 episodes.
Okay.
We'll do a part 1 and a part 2,
Okay.
or we may just have a long episode.
Okay.
It's been so great. It's been wonderful.
And so I'm not always so great. I used to be a lot greater at my journaling. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of journals and everything chronological. For me at home, my spices are, this is seriously who I am. They're alphabetized in my cabinet on a little turntable.
I love that. Because that's not me, but I love people like that because I'm like, I can take one piece of you to make me better.
I don't like having to waste time looking for stuff. But recently I've really slacked off. And when I hear the Lord speaking to me, I'll grab anything and scribble it on there. And then I'll keep stacking them, the oldest to the newest. It's still alphabetized, so to speak.
I love it.
And then I'll say, okay, when I get a little bit of time to myself, I'll sit down and I'm going to rewrite all this and put this in my journal. Yeah. Anyway, but I came across this today in all this mix. And God gave this to me on July 4th at 3:48 a.m. When God wakes you up that early and wants to talk, you better listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he said this, and I'm not going to read all of it, so I'm going to kind of hit some highlights. He said, first thing I heard was, trust me. I am the God of your tomorrows. This has got to turn somebody else's crank. It's got to be speaking to somebody else. If I can turn water into wine, open blind eyes, and cause the lame to run, not just walk, but he said run, I am able to build you a garage. That's one of the things right now over here. I'm having to face this. I'm having to build a garage. I have to have a garage. It's just, a fact of life right now. So I'm going through the motions and I'm asking God for help. And he was encouraging me, hey, don't worry about it. He's already seen it done. He said, but you must trust me and step out in blind faith. There it is again.
Yes.
I'm wanting it all laid out. I want to know where the money's coming from. I want to see it, It's like, God does not work that way. We walk by faith and not by sight. Yeah. If we can't trust him, we're going to miss out on a whole lot. There's a lot of things that he wants to give us, but he needs our faith. And, in fact, it right here, the next line is, I can do nothing with fear, but can accomplish all things through your faith, woman. You know me. You have experienced my faithfulness again and again, and I will not abandon you, like leave you high and dry.
Yeah.
Like when you've been left high and dry a few times, you develop a twitch.
Yeah. I mean, you do. Yes. Yes, you do.
I'll go on and just read a little bit more. And said, he's encouraging me here. Be busy and about my work in this hour. And I wish to move you from here to there. And there's much to be much to accomplish. I will uphold you. And then he promised me something. He said, you'll be getting a sizable increase in your income to match any added expenses. You must not be afraid in this hour. Be brave. Be a brave, fearless conqueror. Tackle and overcome. Okay, so that's probably about what I needed to share there. I looked at my calendar from the day I got that word. 5 days later, some property I had for sale, I have a contract on it. 5 days later.
Wow.
Because, it's like, okay, sure, God. All right. All right. I remember that show on TV where the millionaire came to your door.
Yeah.
And rang the doorbell and handed you a check for $1 million. I knew that wasn't happening. So, but God already knew. I didn't. But I already had stepped out and made a phone call.
Wow.
Just trusting him.
It's amazing.
And this, I think my heart. I'm not patting myself on the back.
Yeah.
It's hard, but initially I think it's the hardest.
Yeah.
He can do much with little. And when we give him our little, what's that song we sing at church? All I have is a hallelujah. So
now
I am in
my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I throw up my hands. I'll praise you again and again.
Yeah.
Because all that I have is a hallelujah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all we have is a hallelujah. And it seems like not enough. Doesn't seem like a lot. It makes me cry every time I sing that song. But that's all he wants. That's all he's looking for.
Yeah.
He's looking for a yes. He's looking for the hallelujah. He's looking for your blind faith. He's looking for that very first step. He's looking for a phone call. Pick up that phone. If you trust me, pick up that phone and make that phone call.
Yeah.
We walk by faith and not by sight.
Well, I think just me texting you to be here is God. I mean, it's the step for me and a step for you just into whatever he's leading us into. And
Can I interrupt you?
For sure.
I'll tell you why that happened. This just jumped into my spirit. Is because you are living a surrendered life. Your life, I'm going to prophesy to you now, your life is more surrendered than you think it is. God is no longer having to peel things out of your fingers. Like, a child, when they've got their little hands clutched and there's a gooey chocolate bar in there and they're headed for the living room and you stop them just short of the white sofa. But he's no longer having to peel chocolate bars out of your clenched fist. You're more yielded than you think you are. Your mind is no longer a playground for the enemy. Your mind, you have submitted your mind to Christ. Submit yourself to God. Resist the devil and he shall flee from you. He shall flee. And it's that very first part that a lot of people miss. They think, well, I'm rebuking the devil. Why isn't he fleeing? Have you surrendered your life? We surrender on, I'm not the know-it-all of all know-it-alls. Like there is always so much to learn. I ate up Canale 1 this year. I ate it up. I couldn't get enough. Amazing how much there is to learn. And there's always more.
Yeah.
But the first step in our walk with him, in what I would call a walk of peace, is just surrender. We have to surrender. We've got to be waving the white flag.
Yeah.
And it has to be our heart, from our heart. Not like, okay, God, if I have to do this,
right.
I will. Because he knows our hearts.
Yeah.
And I'm not lecturing you because you know a great deal.
I will take
more.
all the lectures.
You know a great deal more than I think you do. And I'm not wishing white hair on you, but you might start sprouting a few gray ones here and there because you're growing you're growing in wisdom and you're growing in leaps and bounds.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are no longer bound. You are free.
Thank you. Thank you. I just am honestly speechless at this whole entire episode because it was for me. I'm so glad you guys got to get a little glimpse of what I need. But it's just been beautiful listening to you. And I want to have so many more conversations, and I want to be able to open myself up to you because I desire that in life, to have those people that you can go to.
We both do.
Yeah.
We both.
And so I thank you that you never quit. Like, I'm so glad you didn't throw yourself away. You didn't
throw myself on the road.
Yes. Yeah. I am so glad that you.
I can laugh now. I wasn't laughing then, but I can laugh now.
Yeah.
But he will give you back your smile.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope somebody is hearing this that needs this. My prayer would be that no one would ever have to reach the point where I was.
Mm.
But I know in my heart there are those who are at a place even maybe tougher than that, and who literally see no help and maybe don't have the family or the church coming around them and to help them up, to literally pick them up and help them get on their feet. Yeah.
Well, we will end it there.
Okay.
But this won't be the last conversation we have, because we'll stay tuned to see the fruit of this episode in both of our lives, because we know obedience creates something. And so both of us have been obedient in this moment, but also in moments to come, just from revelations we've had from this episode. So stay tuned for more conversations with Christine. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Leave a review on the podcast. We are now on YouTube. So stay tuned for some videos. Maybe this episode, I don't know. We're testing it out. But just thank you so much for listening. And thank you, Christine, for being here.
Thank you so much for asking.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. I hope something in today's episode met you right where you are, reminded you that you're not alone, and encouraged you to keep going. If this spoke to you, feel free to share it with someone you think might need it too. You can also find us on Facebook, where we'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, and even ideas for future episodes. Just search for us, This Is For You, and join the conversation. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, stay open to God's leading, and remember, this is for you.